Good morning. Welcome back to the Opportunistic Trader for Monday, September 10th. I hope all had a very nice weekend. We were relishing in our Miami Dolphin victory yesterday, so that was good in the longest game in the history of football. Lightning delays and whatnot. The game started at 1 and didn't end till about 8 o'clock at night. But for the fans that stuck around, I guess it was a lot of fun. Hope all your teams did well, and you did well on fantasy. Anyway, let's get to the markets. Start with a little bit of a recap on Friday. Decent trading action. We only had one trade, and we were profitable on it. Overall, we had a nice trading week. Market closed slightly down for the week, about 1% on the S&P. Oil was back down below 70 again, $68 overall in the bond market. Bonds got hit a little bit on Friday, which was interesting action because the markets were down a bit, recovered on the close a little bit. Today, looking at Asia first, those markets again continue to trend lower. The Chinese market ended on the dead low of the year. Hang Seng was down about 1%, and the Nikkei was flat, continuing the trend of what we've seen for the last couple of months. And going across the board to Europe, the European markets are slightly higher, about 30 to 40 basis points, not very much, but woke up this morning at about 6 and they were flat, so they've rallied a little bit, and can't really get too much there, but they crushed those markets. The divergences between these indexes are probably at levels that we haven't seen, with the DAX down 7 and the S&P up 8 or 9, and the NASDAQ up 15 to 17. So those things still stay intact. The S&P this morning up 11 handles. It's amazing. Market stays down pretty much all week. Trades down into the 60 handle, 28.60. Can't really go down from there. And then you look up and it's basically closer to the 90 handle than the 80 handle. But today will be quiet. There's a holiday in the market, so we're not expecting much. The NASDAQ is the outperformer, as it has been. We were all over that trade last week. It worked well for us. And now we're not in that, and we're flat positions right now. Looking to short some S&P a little bit higher for a trade. Bonds, again, a no trade. They're basically flat across the board. Oil up 30 cents at 68. Keeps going to 66 and change, back to 69.70. So it's in a $3-4 range. Can't get much from that, but it is a great trader. Probably the best trader on the board for people that want to trade day over day. So that being said, looking at Vince's favorite, gold, it's just a little bit below 1,200. Probably looks a little bit weak here, and I would expect it to go down a little bit and test the lows in here. Vince will not be joining me today. He's on a vacation day. I miss him, but hopefully he's having a nice day. Across the board in currencies, which is covered by Greg, very, very quiet there, it looks like. Not a lot going on. Waiting for, I guess we're not even really waiting for Trump tweets, because they don't really mean anything. The worse they are, the better the market gets. So you're not going to get a lot there. Volatility, looking at the VIX, it remains elevated at almost 15 and almost 17 in the back months. So market is trading a little bit afraid, but maybe by it being high like this, market could go higher off that because people are buying a bunch of puts. And overall, looking at the options market, the S&P is trading at 85.5, and the straddle, which today is an expiration, is trading somewhere around $8, not pricing in much. we're expecting a little bit of a quiet day today. I'm going to look to do potentially some S&P put and call spreads, staying away from the futures, and depending on how much the futures rally up, we'll maybe look at futures. But for now, probably going to look to sell some put or call spreads, very vanilla stuff, easy to do. As far as the FANG stocks, they're all up across the board, including Apple as well, even though there were some negative comments out of Trump that Apple should make products in the U.S. only, which I guess that's his mantra. The suppliers overseas got crushed, but Apple remains a bit higher this morning, as well as Amazon up its smooth 15 to 20 that it's up when the market goes up. I feel like valuations, they don't even make sense, but are extremely high in here. But they have these go-to stocks, and really the market, especially in NASDAQ, is up on 4 or 5 names. Overall, it's not. So you have to keep an eye on those trading stocks. It's interesting to me, NASDAQ traded really, really weak last week. I think it was down almost 3%. The worst start to a September in 10 years. That was a stat that I got over the weekend from a news service. I don't think it's really meaningful, but I guess that's the stat they came up with. So overall, NASDAQ was heavy. S&P traded down 1%. It'll be interesting to see today if the market can hold these levels. Again, I don't expect it, but what happens a lot in these correlation trades, like between Europe and the U.S. and Asia and the U.S., what ends up happening from what I've seen and what my takeaway is that the European markets, when they get crushed, the DAX goes down like 1.5%, 2%. We go down like 7 handles. And then when they come up literally 30 basis points, we rally everything back plus. So, our market is strongly bid for whatever reason. I don't expect it to continue through the month. I expect the month to be really, really choppy and, have some downward action here. Fish came on Friday, Mark Fisher, and we were chatting, and he's looking for a bit of a down move, but like he said, it could open up. He must have had a premonition. He goes, it might open up 15 on Monday, so we're kind of there, and we'll have to see today what happens, but we expect it's a Jewish holiday. We expect it to be very, very slow going, especially into the afternoon, and with VIX remaining this high, you just have to be a little bit leery of what may happen. But we will keep an eye on all of that. And today we have Adam Collins at 1:30, who goes over the commitment of trader data. And then we're going to have Jay Collins, no relation, at 2:30. And he's an S&P floor broker, and he's going to go over the differences, of what it used to be like to what it's like now, and then what types of flow he gets into the S&P option pit and the floor in general. So it'll be interesting to get that account as well. And other than that, I'm going to be here all day, so I will come back to you before the opening with more commentary on any changes in the market. But right now, S&P up 11, NASDAQ up 40, gold down 4, and crude oil up 26 cents. Don't see much to do. Sitting on our hands right now. We had a decent week last week. I think we were 8 winners over 3 losers. If we can do that for the rest of time, that would be really, really nice. Obviously, as you guys know, doesn't always work out that way, but we've been seeing the market very, very well. Our experts have been all over their different markets that they cover, and I feel good about our commentary and the stuff that we're putting out, and I believe that by watching this, you're going to have an advantage over pretty much anyone else in the marketplace because you're trading with professionals. So that's just my thought, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the chat, and I'll be back to you before 9:30 with an update. Everybody, good luck.